Hello, this is a short video to show you what the point-in-time survey looks like for this year and how you navigate that survey. So in a previous video, I showed you how to download the survey application and install it and install the survey. If you're using the application, this is what it'll look like. If you are using a web browser, I will show you that in a moment. Once you open the Survey123 application, you should see this point-in-time revised box. You'll click on that. And then at the bottom, you will click the collect button with the plus sign, and that will start the survey for you. Anything that has a red star after it is something that is required, and you will have to fill that question in to move forward. The X in the top left will close this survey, and if you press it, you see you have options to save the survey as a draft, continue with the survey, or close it and lose all of your changes. In the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a check mark. That means you want to submit the survey. So you'll put in a name here. I recommend if you have a common name that you put at least your first name and last initial, so we know who the interview was. You'll have to decide if you're doing an in-person interview or an observation. If you're doing an observation, you'll automatically start to kind of see why you're doing the observation. We're looking for what the reason is that you're doing an observation and then additional questions after that. So I might say that it was not safe to enter the location of the person. On the next slide, after I use the arrows at the bottom of the screen, you'll see it wants to know where you did this observation. If you know the municipality, that's great. If you don't, you can always choose unknown, but we do ask you to describe where you're at. Our example here is it's the corner of Market and Duke behind a shopping center called this, whatever the description might be. So I'll just put that in. I'll press my arrow to move forward. It's going to ask how many adults you're observing here. You'll see that the number of adults is a required field. If you are identifying someone that you believe to be a child, a youth, you are allowed to put a 0 in that field. So you can put 1 adult, 2 adults, however many. But if you're observing children, you can put a 0 there, and that will be accepted by the app. Number of children is not required, but if there are children with them, we like you to record that as well. Arrow moves us forward. Is this person homeless? So do they have indications that they are homeless? They're staying outdoors in a tent. They have a lot of belongings with them. Maybe they're in a car with a lot of belongings. You can decide here if you want to say definitely, possibly, or you're not sure. If you can see the person, you have an opportunity to estimate the age. But again, this is not a required question, so you don't have to answer it. And again, if you can identify gender, visual cues only, you have the opportunity to do so. However, it is not a required question. Race is listed here, but again, not required. And then any other identifying characteristics, a particular color of backpack or a really interesting hat or what they just look like in general, belongings they have with them that might stand out. You can provide those in the other information category. And then you can press the check mark, and it will ask you if you want to save it to an outbox, which will allow you to send it later if you want to send on Wi-Fi, for example, or you can send it now using the data that your phone is currently connected to. Once it sends, you'll get kind of confirmation that you have sent at the bottom of your screen, and then you have the opportunity to press collect and do another observation or in-person interview.